Shawn, and I'd like to discuss the political spectrum. I think it's important to understand the realities of politics and remove some misconceptions about the parties. This information is relevant to everyone here because with it we can make more informed decisions about how we vote and about other people. I've been following politics since I was a teen in the 70s, and I use NPR, Reuters, and PBS NewsHour as sources to avoid media bias. First, I'll go over the basic information, such as the political parties and their place on the spectrum. Then the core values of the Republicans and the Democrats. Next, I'll frame the basic debate between the two parties. And finally, I'll highlight what the parties have in common. For those of you who know this information already, be patient. I hope to present some material that might interest you as well. Before I go on, I'd like to learn a little bit more about you folks. Now, without going into any details, how many of you identify yourselves with a specific party? Okay. And how many follow politics at all? Okay, and last, how many people voted in the 2008 presidential election? Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's see if this works. Okay, I'll just do it the other way.
Try to toggle one, see.
I did?
Both of
Okay.
them?
Now going from left to right, actually the blue looks a little purple, but we'll pretend this is blue on this side. On the left side of the spectrum we have the Democrats who occupy the blue area. They're also known as progressives or liberals. In the center are independents. They're nestled in the middle or the purple area. They're also known as swing voters. And to the right we have the Republicans in the red area. They're known as conservatives. The only thing I can say about the independents is that they hold no specific tenets in their political beliefs. They vote the way their conscience guides them. They're also a reason for the split party ticket. Now when independents vote, they don't tick a box that represents a vote for each Republican or each Democratic candidate. They split the ballot between the two parties by voting for the person they think is going to do the best job. Now let's look at some core beliefs. The Republicans have very specific values. They include tradition, personal responsibility, states' rights, and low taxes. Republicans believe there's a lot of value in tradition. They see wisdom and stability in relying on their predecessors' knowledge, a way for everyone to know and understand their responsibilities to themselves, their families, and their communities. And that personal responsibility is key in Republicans' core values. Without it, they feel people would have less meaning in their lives and their families and communities would suffer, much as they see in what they consider to be the breakdown of modern society. They also feel strongly about the rights of states to decide what's best for their people. In the conservative opinion, federal and state regulations don't fit every situation. And it's only the state governments that really know what their constituents' needs are. Finally, Republicans feel strongly about the ability to keep the money that they earn. They feel that high taxes only discourages hard work and accomplishment. After all, who wants to work hard their whole life and just see all the money they earn go to pay someone else through taxes? Now let's look at the Democrats' core values. They consist of progressivism, personal choice, a federal government that protects equality, and a fair distribution of resources. To Democrats, the way for society to move forward is to use our ever-increasing knowledge about ourselves and our world. We must use that knowledge to help society progress. People can also use that knowledge to improve themselves and their communities. And by using that knowledge, Democrats are practicing what they consider an essential part of their core values, personal choice. They strongly feel that when we live according to our personal beliefs, our individual beliefs, we make ourselves stronger, and as a result, we make everyone around us stronger. Democrats also feel it's essential for the federal government to protect equality. As we progress, our nation has redefined what's acceptable many times, from slavery to women's votes to interracial marriage. Without a guiding set of rules, equality would be subject to the whims of each community. Lastly, Democrats value the fair distribution of resources as a way to ensure that equality. People should not be disadvantaged because they weren't born with the resources that they need to succeed. Now I'd like to frame the debate between the two parties. It can most easily be summed up in 3 words: equality versus liberty. From the Democratic point of view, every person has the right to achieve as much as their natural ability allows. Republicans believe that each person has the right to do what they want with their lives and their money. Well, how do these ideas conflict? Usually in the form of regulations and taxes. Democrats believe that government rules like Social Security, equal employment opportunity, and a minimum wage benefit all Americans by making sure that those that are most vulnerable have some resources that they need. Republicans feel differently, however, by seeing government intervention as unfair. Business people should be able to hire the people best suited for the job at a price they can afford so they can grow their businesses unencumbered. Social Security and other entitlement payments are just a way of moving wealth from the people who have the ability to create it to those who don't. Next, I'd like to address some common ground that the parties share. Each party loves their country. Without that fundamental truth, there would be no reason to engage in politics. Second, each party truly believes in their values. That's one reason people join political parties, so they can engage with people who share their beliefs. Next, each party wants this country to be its best. That's part of the reason that the political parties exist. It brings out the best in our communities and in ourselves. Finally, each party wants to contribute to the national conversation. That way, we can all work together to find common ground and make sure that everyone's interests are addressed. I hope I've been able to clear up some aspects of the parties and perhaps create a little bit of interest in the political process. Thank you for your time and patience.